You know that moment when someone says something and suddenly you're somewhere else entirely? Your face gets hot, your chest tightens, and you go quiet or you start blaming. And if you're honest, the thing that kicked it off wasn't even that big of a deal.
You can think of being triggered like your ship has just flown into an asteroid field. Something happens outside your ship that activates a chain reaction inside it. And when that happens, it's an emergency. There's no time to think, only react. The security team takes over, and the officer takes the wheel.
A telltale sign that you are triggered is when your reaction is way bigger than what just happened.
Yeah, actually, I remember a time I was at my mom's house for dinner. I mentioned my work, and she said, "Oh, are you still doing that unfollowing thing of yours?" And immediately my face got hot, and I experienced her as condescending, like everything I did was trivial. And the rest of the meal, I went quiet, just like my dad used to do. Of course, my mom wasn't attacking me. She was just asking a question. And the tone may not have been perfect, but it was just a question. But my reaction went from 0 to 60 in half a second. Why? And why punish her with silence?
When you are triggered, you're not actually there anymore. You've been transported, and we call it the time machine. It starts when someone's tone of voice, mannerism, what they say or do triggers a feeling in you, maybe fear, anger, or anxiety. It's an old reaction that activates the deeper beliefs and experiences from your past.
In my case, the asteroid that hit my ship was my mom's tone and words unfollowing thing. And the reason it hit so hard? Well, it reminded me of every time I tried to get her attention or validation and failed.
So, what's actually happening inside the ship when that ignition key turns? Let's slow this down and look at what actually happens. First, it shows up in your body. Your body responds before your brain even knows what's happening. And in Omo's case, his face got hot. His ship's alarm went off. Warning, warning, brace for impact. We know this, and this isn't good.
And after your body signals danger, your childhood blueprint takes the hit. And which crew member lives in your blueprint? Your inner child. The moment my mom said that, I stopped being a grown man at dinner, and I became the kid that she used to criticize. Small, unimportant, trying and failing to be seen. And when you become that kid, you get teleported. Everything feels dangerous, bigger. The world's too large and you're too small. So the second stage of being triggered is the power imbalance. Imagine a seesaw. Normally you and the other person are balanced. But when the trigger fires, they inflate bigger, more aggressive, more authoritative, and you deflate, vulnerable, exposed.
So, what happens when you're off balance? You enter the last day of being triggered, the power grab. Your officer finds a way to reclaim some power to level the seesaw. And because you're already activated, this tends to be an overreaction.
It could be a judgment. Mom's so damn annoying. It could be behavior. In my case, I went silent and cold. And at that point, while my mom moved on to other subjects, I wasn't even there anymore. I was just looking for Brown and finding it everywhere, collecting every piece of proof that I needed to support the story that my inner child had been carrying all along. I was 10 years old, feeling like whatever I was working on didn't matter. I was 12, watching her leave a coffee stain on my artwork. I was 17, trying and failing to show her that I was just as good a student as my sister. I was lost in the time machine. Needless to say, I lost valuable time with my mom that night, and I felt bad about it later.
Wow. We have a saying, never waste a good trigger. And by that we mean, after the asteroids hits, if you chart what happened, you can turn it into gold.
Now here's exactly how to chart it.